on live. I know it's morning. And talk about abortion and what Planned Parenthood is doing currently with the ACLU. I know, and I'm preparing for the attacks that are coming, but I wanted you to know straight from me. Okay? So I just got an invitation from Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains for an action fund. This is one provider that we need to defund. Anyways, so they tell me, if there is one thing we know in 2022, it's that abortion rights across the country are under attack. Okay, correction. Abortion is not a right. Until we figure out what the fetus is, we cannot talk about rights. And the left wants to say that Jews say that abortion is in the Bible. It is not. In those times, when the Jews read the Old Testament, there is no abortion in the Old Testament. Okay? Now, the New Testament, where Jesus is born, has a sort of abortion, but it was not called abortion. It was murder. Okay? King Herod murdered all the baby boys in Nazareth. Okay? That is the closest to abortion that we have today. Okay? So, but besides that, God, in the Bible, in the Old Testament, God created life. Okay? The first man and woman were created from dust. But we start our lives in the womb. God is the keeper of life. He is the creator of life. Life is a protected right. The purpose of government is to protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The government is trying to create a new right. Okay? The Democrats, through Planned Parenthood, are trying to create a new right to abortion. This is unconscionable because they're trying to usurp life. So if they can create a new right to abortion, then what happens to our life? Was a decision by the Supreme Court in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. They overturned Roe versus Wade for one reason. The court does not make law. And Democrats have been using Roe versus Wade as settled law. Settled law means that it's a constitutional right. And the Constitution is the law of the land. However, when Congress makes law, it is the law of the land if it follows the Constitution. If it does not follow the Constitution, it is not law of the land, and the states don't have to follow it. Roe versus Wade is not being followed by Democrats either. There were a ton of issues that were laid out in the reasoning. So Planned Parenthood says, Roe versus Wade, it's clear that our deepest fears have come true. Yes, Planned Parenthood is fears not being able to continue to murder our children. We are at a crisis point Oh, it's a crisis, for crying out loud, to protect life. Oh, it's a crisis. It's not. We are at a crisis point, but it's not this. Our crisis point is the fact that Biden is creating higher taxes with inflation. Biden is putting us under the thumb of communist Russia and communist China. We are at a crisis point in our education system. Most kids do not know how to read, write, and do math proficiently by the time they graduate. We are at a crisis point in our country because we have high immorality. People don't know what the meaning of goodness is anymore because government has been manipulating it. So they continue, but we refuse to give up. Of course you refuse to give up. You want the right to kill our babies. That's abortion genocide. That's like what King Herod did to all the baby boys back in Jesus' time. But we know that people get involved and fight for rights. Yes, we are fighting for the right to stay free. True freedom means leaving God on top. Don't invert the pyramid. If we invert the pyramid and we put government on top, they can decide what rights to give us and what rights not to give us. And we go on the bottom. So if government is on top, they're governing us and our behavior. The Constitution is no longer, and neither is the government, is the God. But if we keep God on top, you govern yourself, regardless of whether you care about God or not, or whether you want to obey Him or not. You're still below God on the pyramid. You govern, you create the Constitution, which governs our government. Government is governed by you. They want to invert it. This is what abortion is all about. They want to dictate what rights we deserve. And that's not how America works. America works when you have the right to govern yourself and your behavior according to God. But that's okay. I already told you. If you don't want to believe in God, that's fine with me. God is not about religion. But we need to keep God on top. He will govern you. Not me, not government. I don't really care what you do in your personal life. But we need to keep God on top. And we need to fight right now for our self-governing system. Our freedoms are under fire. Anything is possible. The upcoming midterm elections are crucial in protecting and expanding access to abortion care. What? Abortion is not care. I'm sorry. Abortion is murder. And the state must have limits to what the providers do, because anything can go wrong when they do the procedure of abortion. And women need to be able to fight in court for the wrongs that the providers do. That's one. Two, we need to know what the fetus is. The fetus hasn't been defined. What is a fetus? Is it a life living, growing inside of you? They want to call it a cancer. So really? We're a cancer? We the people are a cancer? We are born in the womb and we're a cancer growing inside somebody else's body. Seriously? That's what they're telling me. I'm like, what? They want to say that the fetus is a tumor. Well, let me tell you something. In my district, Democrats are divided on pro-life issues. And the majority of Democrats in my district believe that there is a life inside of you. Okay? Abortion is not care. And then they want to say, we have the power to ensure that Nevada, New Mexico, and Colorado remain a safe haven state. But we can't do that without you. You know, of course not. They want to keep you ignorant. They don't care about you. They really don't. They care about money. They care about killing. They're communist. And I know that I have some really brilliant socialists in my district that I've talked to. And when I talk to them firsthand and they read my letter, they say, well, right here, I don't really agree. And I'm like, why don't you agree? And then I ask them, do you like being free? Do you like governing yourself? And they say, yes. And I say, well, socialism, you won't be governing yourself. Government will be governing you. You don't want socialism. My parents experienced it. They went through a dictatorship, then Castro took over, and now it's a full-blown communist nation. And you know what? I told her, we don't have to agree to everything. We're not going to agree on everything. We have different ideas. But I promise that I'm going to listen to you and bring your ideas to the table on the congressional floor. Because God gave me a gift. Gave me a gift to listen, talk, and think at the same time. And your ideas stay with me and they swirl in my head. And some ideas, they stay even longer because they're brilliant ideas. Your solutions are the ones that I will listen to and bring to the floor. I put people over party. And that's what the Democrats are failing to do. Democrats put special interest over people. Democrats put party over people. We need to vote Republican to eliminate the evil in the Democrat Party. I don't normally condone voting all the way through Republicans, all the way down Republican, because we need to pick people who are competent. And Republicans, we have idiots in our party too. But I am telling you now that you need to vote Republican all the way down and send a message to these Democrats, the smart ones, the ones who are actually still thinking but are woke and playing this crap. So please heed my warning. Vote Republican and vote for me. I am the most competent paralegal. I'll learn fast, but I'll listen to you. Anyways, Planned Parenthood has a training September 21 at 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Every time I join, they boot me out because I ask questions that make them uncomfortable. They don't want to listen to me. Why? Because I am the sound of reason. I have truth on my side. They're afraid of me. And I guarantee they want to smear me.